Good evening, everybody. We're here at 6 p.m. on Friday with Seb and Nani. I don't know if you can see him. Nani's got his camera really up close, so it's like right up in his chin, which is perfect. Hanging out on a soccer field looks like Seb's got a big old smile on his face. Happiest day of his life being on the show. So here we are, ready to have a good time. As always, thank you guys for joining in. Before we jump into talking about these two and talking about the amazing work they've been doing this summer between camps and some community engagement work, really quick reminder that August 19th, we'll be having a scrimmage at 4 p.m. against the Whistle All Stars. So, what that's going to be is a collection basically from the Whistle. If you don't know what the Whistle is, it's the Western Indoor Soccer League. It's where a lot of the players that have come through our program have played. And we're going to have basically a select team from them, and they're going to play against our first team at the Soccer Center at 4 p.m. So, get your tickets now. You can actually go on our website and you can buy them from the website straight away. So it just says tickets, preseason tickets, something like that. So lock in there so that you can come watch Nani and Seb run around at 4 p.m. on August 19th. That is a Saturday. Okay, let's jump right in it with these two guys. By the way, first time on the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
Okay.
you for having
Yeah.
me.
So on the right-hand side, I don't know what your screen looks like, but there'll be audience messages there. So if people say something, I'll try to tune them in on what we're talking about if there's something interesting coming across the line. So first things first, how's summer going?
Great. Amazing. Right now it's really dark. It doesn't look like summer, but so far it's been pretty good.
Where are you at, Nani?
In Yakima, getting ready to leave to Portland in half an hour or so.
Okay. Seb?
Yeah, I'm in Tacoma right now. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
in the house. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the summer camp. So Nani, you've been working a lot of the Stars summer camps, right? You've been working a bunch of them.
Right.
Seb, you have worked a couple of them as well, but you've also done your own camp that
Yeah.
we helped you with a little bit, or that you kind of did, and then we promoted and helped a little bit. Both of you guys talk a little bit about your experience with the summer camps and how the clinics and how that's all been going.
Well, for me, I've never really coached like in my life, so it was pretty fast. I just went to it, and it's been pretty fun so far. I have Alex Caceres helping me out. He takes like the older group, and then I keep like the younger age from like aged 5 to 8, and it's pretty fun meeting new kids that love to play the sport, that want to keep going forward in the sport, and it's pretty fun just showing them what everything I can show them.
Seb?
Yeah. I've coached before, so I knew this was gonna be just like right up my alley. But Tacoma Stars camps have been great. We've had a great turnout, and all the camps we've had, and the attitude's been great with all the people there. So I love it. I'm doing the camps outside of it, but it kind of helps me using these camps as kind of like a test run for the drills I want to use in my camps. So I go with these kids, and I'm like, well, can I do these drills? Does it work? What do I need to work on? How much time does it take? Everything that I needed to do in order to do my camps, because the Tacoma Stars camps have about 50 to 60 kids, and we had about over 300 kids in my turnout. So getting kind of
Yeah.
the numbers right. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that camp. I mean, that was crazy. It was a free camp, right? It was for
Yeah.
kids to come show up. And it was in Eastern Washington. It was a Sozo, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a Sozo Sports Complex in Yakima, Washington. And it was kind of always been a dream of mine to go back to Yakima and kind of help my community out. So the fact that Nani and I were able to go back and kind of do this camp and help out over 300 kids in the kids camp, and then also over 100 kids in the college showcase we had. So it was over 400 kids total that we had come out. So I think we made a big impact. A lot of people met a lot of professional players, got a lot of Tacoma Stars gear. They got water bottles. They got Danny Waltman
Bob,
bobbleheads and Preki.
Bobbleheads. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of them. They're like, "Who's Preki?" And you're like, "He's a legend." You don't know. But he probably got a bunch
Google him. Google him.
of
Yeah.
fans. Yeah,
Well, that's awesome. What a cool thing. I mean, I went out to Sozo Sports Complex one time, and what an incredible setup, right? I mean, amazing sports field, the whole setup. But how cool for you guys who grew up there to go back and be able to put that on for your community, and help out so many kids. Do you think the kids out there sometimes don't get a fair look?
yeah. I mean, that's for me. That's one of the biggest problems in that community is there's so much talent. There's so much quality there, but sometimes they don't have the information to get out. They just don't know, so they fall to the same trap of I'm gonna play in the leagues here in town, and then that's it. I'm not gonna go anywhere. And it's not because they're not good enough. It's just because they don't have the same information, same opportunities. So we're trying to go back and kind of level the playing field for everybody and just kind of make it even. And hopefully others will follow Nani and my footsteps and kind of realize their professional dreams. It's amazing. It's amazing to be able to train with you guys and kind of learn. Like the whole experience has been amazing for me and Nani. So if we can just show that people from Yakima that it's possible, that they can do it, that's amazing.
Yeah, Nani, anything to add on that? Because I mean, I think that both of you guys came in last year, and obviously Nani, you guys for a little bit were driving. You
Yeah.
guys were coming up and driving for a little bit to be part of it. But yeah, what a cool experience! 400 kids that didn't get looks, and that you guys could help out 300 young kids for free. And was the college showcase freeze too?
Yep.
So what an amazing experience to be able to put that on, and how cool is that? I mean, that's something that you guys may not realize it, but that's something that you may have changed some kid's life, right? I mean, you may have through sport changed some lives, and that I think that's the coolest thing about Stars camps or any soccer camps and just being around kids is like you don't know whose life you might be changing in a
Yep.
positive manner. And I always grew up in Europe, and my dad always used to tell me that there were a lot of kids for whose sport was the best way to stay out of trouble, right? Because you had to be up on the weekends, you couldn't be out late, you couldn't be doing drugs and drinking and doing stuff because you're investing in sport. So you never know what you guys might have just done that weekend. What an incredible accomplishment!
Yep.
Thank you.
Well,
I mean, it's
you
amazing.
guys should be proud of yourselves, man.
Thank
Seen a lot of family members go out too, so it's kind of nice, getting all those kids smile on their faces and everything. So one of the best feelings that's happened so far.
And now all those guys are going to come watch you guys play next year at the Showa Arena and go watch you ball.
That's
Nani, talk to me a little bit about your hair situation because Seb's got a fresh lineup on the side, but you've kind of got this like mushroom top going right now. You got a little lineup going as well.
Yeah, it's because I don't know. I was bored of my blonde hair already. It was too long for the summer for this heat, so I was like, I'm gonna just cut it off.
Yeah.
And I just need the fresh fade, which is missing.
Mm.
I'm slacking on it.
Seb's got a nice cleanup on the side. Seb got cleaned up for the show.
Hey, tell him who's your barber, man. Seb, ask him who's your barber, man.
Oh yeah, Jesse Esco, my barber. I gotta give him the shot.
Nice.
This is this is a week old. I had to fix my beard up because it was looking a little scraggly. So I did in the morning, cleaned it up a little bit just to make sure.
Well, no, you guys should be super proud of the work you did, and we're super proud of you guys. And like anything, I think that what's cool about the Stars family is always kind of that everybody's there for each other, and you guys being able to be part of what we're doing here, as well as go back to your own roots in your community and help them out, really incredible. And like I said, you may not know the impact that you've done for some time, and maybe it's just one kid somewhere that comes up to you in a couple of years and just says, "Hey, just want you to know." I don't know. I joined soccer because I joined your camp, and now I'm playing soccer every day. And I mean, it's incredible the opportunities that sport can give you. So super proud of you guys, and how cool is that? And we've got a bunch of pictures that we can share on our social media as well of some of the event that happened, and so cool, really, really cool. Well, now that we've got you on the show and you've done all the cool stuff, and we've talked about how cool you guys are, now we got to ask you some questions, let you talk a little bit about Stars soccer. And ask you some embarrassing questions too, if we can. Let's start off with the easy one. Okay, let's just start off with like base level easy. Intro to indoor soccer. Okay, talk me through your first year. How do you feel?
Nani?
My first year, well, it came out of nowhere. I just was coming with Luis to trainings with you guys preseason, and then it was so like when I say it was like out of nowhere, I really didn't know about the Tacoma Stars really till last year, And then Luis told me that there was a professional soccer team in Tacoma, and that he trained with them a couple days before, 2 years ago. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. Went out, and then it seemed like Mr. Nick right here wanted to keep me. So from there on, I was just in my head, I was just like, lock in. Make sure you keep your position, keep your spot. I remember having a little injury during preseason before I got picked up, where I felt like, took me down a little bit on my skills level. But other than that, I feel like I'm back. I'm ready for this year that's coming up. And yeah, I'm ready to see everyone at the shower center.
Seb, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard. It was a learning experience for sure. Everyone there was really good, and I came from a season in Mexico playing outdoor in the second division, so I thought I was gonna come out and I was gonna be ready. But indoor is a whole different game. It's not just technical. You have to use a lot of your head. It's mental. So learning the motions was tough for me. But everyone there was so nice, and they're so willing to help me that I never felt like I was going to go to training or I was going to go to practice and I was going to get put down for messing up or trying something. It was actually, it was in the contrary. It was like people were helping me. They're like, "Hey, you got to do this. Like instead of this, do that." And that ended up, helped me. And I played a lot of games and I felt like I learned a lot. And I'm excited for next season because there's just things that I didn't know playing. That's just like you said, it's just like experience. The more you play, the more you just understand how things are. So I just want to keep learning and just keep getting better.
Yeah, I think, listen, before I answer both of you guys, by the way, I don't know if you guys can tell back home, but up here in this left corner right there, we've got a QR code that you can scan to order your preseason tickets. Like Pete
Oh,
Richmeier's production on this thing is high level. Now, every single
I've
time we
seen that.
talk, every
No
time we
wonder I
talk,
see
there's
the notification. It said someone that scanned it or something
yeah,
like that.
someone scanned it, and there it is in the top left corner. So you can scan it and get your tickets right there if you're watching the show. At the
Wow.
bottom, he's got the ticker tape. Now, I will say one thing, and Seb, I'm sorry here. Okay, I have to say this because I've been seeing it 3 times now, and I love you, buddy. But when Nani talks, it says underneath Nani, 6 goals, 5 assists in whatever it is, and underneath you it just says Seb Navarro, something co-founder. Like he can't throw your stats up there. What's up, man? You don't have stats to throw up there? What's going on?
I mean, I got one goal last season, so I mean, he
It
kind
was
of
a big
he
one.
kind of
It was
helped
a
me
big
out.
one.
He kind of helped me out. Maybe I got I mean, 24 games played, so that's
You
cool.
played every game. That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
and then I got
For
I
a
got
rookie,
I got a bunch
for
of
a
blocks,
rookie,
but
for a rookie to play every game. But Nani, the celebration on his 1 goal was worth that. Was
Oh
worth the
yeah,
one, right?
that was worth like 10 goals right there. That celebration.
hey,
He
we're
almost ripped
milking
his whole
that
shirt
picture.
off. That brand new Valor shirt was almost gone, bro.
Oh man, I was yeah, it's poor. I mean, it just, for me it just says Nick Perera, which is perfect. But when I saw Nani down there with 6 goals, 5 assists, I was like, damn, you're gonna do Seb like
No,
that.
Pete's the guy. He knows what's up. He helped me out. I appreciate it, Pete.
So yeah, I mean, both you guys kind of, for me, that we didn't know you guys. And I mean, Greg Seti, he's somebody who's followed indoor soccer for a long time in San Diego. He's one of the biggest indoor soccer fans, followers in that area. Intro to Nani and Seb for us that aren't in the Pacific Northwest. So, I think that, like everybody else in the league, I got to know you guys last year and got to see a little bit of what you guys could do. And I think that the cool thing, see, now Pete hooked me up. Now he's got it sorted out. He's got the bottom sorted out. There you go, Pete. Um, having seen you guys grow through the league and having seen you guys grow through the season and go and kind of figure out those big steps, I think it's really interesting to watch young players, especially two young players that are kind of, you guys have a similar trait, but you're also very different. I think Seb is a little bit more power than Nani. Nani's a little bit more technical than Seb, maybe in short spaces. And there's kind of like the two of you guys balance each other really well. Seb's somebody who defensively is a little bit more gritty and aggressive than Nani. Nani's a little bit more flair, a little bit more attacking minded, and Seb kind of played shit. I don't know, every position last year. Seb, you played in midfield, you played in the back, you played at a target at some point,
Yeah.
you played defensive runner, you played everywhere. Nani played, I think you played a few less games than Seb,
Yeah.
but mostly in midfield, second forward. So just seeing your guys' evolution is so cool. And I've been with this team for a bit now, and we've never had that many young players come in last year, and we've never had that many young players come in and actually play. Most of the time, we would have young players come in and they'd play a game or two, and then they'd sit for 5 or 6, and they'd play a game, and they'd sit just because they couldn't catch the rhythm. So for you guys to put in, none of you must have played what, 18, 17, 18 games, something like that?
It was on 20. Yeah.
So that's a lot of games for a rookie, and obviously Seb playing in 24 and in so many different positions. So really, really proud of you guys and the improvement. What was the biggest surprise for you guys coming into indoor soccer? Biggest surprise?
Um, To me, I would have to say just the amount of people that I have to play around, in every stadium, home, away, especially for my debut, which had to be in Kansas, which I don't know how many fans were there, but I was just nervous.
Yeah,
Nervous,
3,500, 4,000, maybe
yeah,
3,000 something.
and I just stepped in the field, and then the first thing I did was play you the ball. I remember you played me, hit the crossbar, and then after that, my adrenaline freaking moved up, and I was like, all right, let's keep going.
Who hit the crossbar? I did or you did?
I did.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
you sent me like a little through ball, and I hit the crossbar. My very first shot of like the indoor game, and then after that, I was just like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Seb, what about you?
Yeah, I think one thing that surprised me was just the speed. The speed of play was just fast. Especially when you got in there, the ball would get there, and then the defense would be right there. So your decision making had to be quick, and your touch had to be good. So for me, it was just the quickness. Getting used to that.
Yeah, I think soccer is a crazy sport, right? Because it's a sport you can watch at home on your TV and think like, oh man, these guys aren't very good and I would do way better. And especially in indoor soccer, you'd be like, this guy's kind of not very good. But then you kind of get down there on the floor and you realize how quick those decisions are. And you think that guy's actually much better than I thought he was.
Yeah,
He's actually really sharp, right? And you play with players that can kind of release the ball so quickly, that can make decisions so quickly. And I think it's really difficult sometimes to see that if you haven't been down there, if you haven't really been on the field with guys who can play that at that speed. Some players don't need to play at that speed because they have an individual talent or level that they can do something different. But when you see guys playing that fast, it's pretty eye-opening, I think. And I think that's the biggest area for young players is like that speed of play. And most of it comes down to having made the decision before you get the ball, right? Like I remember Nani, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do. We were doing a playing out of the back sequence and we were trying to get you to check in the middle and we were
yeah,
trying to get you to put your foot on the ball and hold it.
yep,
And we had to do it like with you maybe
5,
five times or
yep,
6 times because you kept checking in and you'd do something. I'd be like, no, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. And it finally ended up, I think, like physically grabbing you and being like, here's where you go, here's how you stand. And then
yep,
I remember watching in training, whatever it was, 2, 3 weeks later, and we played a scrimmage. And there you were, you checked in, you did exactly what you were supposed to do, and it was natural. But unless somebody like physically grabbed you and told you how to do it, it was
right,
going to be hard for you to know. So there's just so many things in indoor soccer that happen like that if you haven't learned them right then and there, you're not going to learn them. So
yep. Just like with your feet, the trapping the ball with the bottom of your foot. That's gonna be the all time. It's gonna be the all time.
yeah, and Seb shooting back post because man, Seb likes to hit that ball high and near post, and it's like Seb, that's a great shot, buddy, but it's a tiny goal. You got to hit that ball back post.
No,
Which by the way is funny because Seb's only goal last year was near post.
Near
mhm.
post, near post.
So near post on the ground against actually against Chris Toth against the Empire strikers, and I think we were a man down, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shorthanded goal, which doesn't happen very often. So. Okay, well, let's see. Let's keep going down and talk a little bit about the MASL. Then I'm going to ask you a little bit about some of your Stars teammates. Then we'll talk a little bit about between you guys. Okay, so hardest team to play against for you guys. Hardest team that you played.
I'll go first. I think Chihuahua. Chihuahua was definitely hard. At Chihuahua is just the atmosphere was hard. Every tackle there was. I think my ankle still hurt from one of the tackles that I went in over there. Like I just remember when you're over there, the mindset's different. It's a war. You got to be ready to fight against the refs, to fight against the crowd, and obviously to fight against them. So I love it. And I mean, hopefully I get a chance to go back. But that's one that I want to play again for sure.
Yeah, they're tough. Nani?
Well, he took the team I was gonna say. I honestly did not enjoy playing over that their little training field. It's too small, too loud. The fans are just chirping, and I would have to say Chihuahua.
Yeah, I think what we were talking about speed of play, like you go speed of play at Chihuahua, and it's like even faster still, right? Because it's so small and so tight, and that's a tough place. Your favorite arena to play at, not show where, because obviously that's our favorite, but favorite arena that you played at last year.
I would have to say the Kansas one, my debut game.
Yeah, it's a nice stadium.
Yeah.
Very nice stadium.
Old blue turf.
Yeah.
Just all around, all the fans that showed up, it was amazing.
Yeah. Seb?
Yeah, No, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, a lot of the stadiums are nice, like it surprised me. But besides Showware, my favorite stadium would probably be Kansas. The amount of fans they get it was
Yeah.
insane. And whenever they would try to get loud, whenever they would score, or we would do something, and they would just get down, like that was amazing. Like, it was amazing to hear them get loud and us score, and then hear them just go silent. So it's like that experience was cool.
Yeah, they've always had a really good following there, and they've always had a lot of people show up to those games, and they're really actively followed. I actually remember Corey Keith scoring a goal on a power play, and it looked like he was kind of talking trash to a lady in the first seat,
Oh
but
yeah,
Oh, I
it
know what
was
you're talking about.
it was in the warm-ups. She was like kind of making fun of him or saying something, and they were having like a friendly banter. And so he scored, and he kind of ran over to her, and they were like giggling and laughing about it.
That's,
And then, yeah, there were some good moments. I don't know if you guys remember, but that was the game that Tyler John got cleaned out by their goalkeeper Neto, and they ran down the other end and played and scored a 5v3. And then we reviewed it, and there was like all this. There was it was like one of those games where there was like 6 reviews and a bunch of blue cards, and it was a lot of crazy stuff.
yeah.
And we won, which
And we
is like,
won.
hey, if we're gonna have crazy stuff happen, let's at least win the game.
yeah.
Okay, the best opponent you played, a player that you played against last year that you were like, wow, this guy's good. And Nani, I don't know, you're gonna have to do your best to actually remember some of the players' names, because when I ask you in training, you're like, I don't know, the one guy with the long hair that looks like he's number 10. I'm not sure.
Uh,
For those of you that don't know, I ask players every day training, hey guys, we're gonna play against Empire, we're gonna play against San Diego. Give me some players that play on their team. And all the young guys kind of like hide behind each other and hope that they don't get called upon because they haven't learned the other team's names. Anybody that you can remember, Nani, that you played against that you thought was like, yeah, this guy's good.
well, I remember having to defend a couple times that when I was in, which was that Charlie guy, which from San Diego, you know,
Yeah.
right when I would step up to him to defend, like he would just do one little cut and boom, gone. Then again,
Yeah.
cut, boom, gone. And I would say, I like watching him because I feel like I get to that where he's at. So I'm trying to follow some of the steps that he's taken, some of the moves he does, the style of play that he plays, and I like it. I like him a lot.
That's a great answer, because my next question was going to be, is there anybody that you watch and learn from? And honestly, I played with Charlie like 7 years ago, and super technical player, like really kind of similar to yourself. Plays a lot of street soccer. Plays a lot of like small-sided street soccer. So really good player for you to mentor, to look at and watch, because he plays very similar to you actually. Seb, a player that you played against that you were impressed with, that you were like, wow, this guy's legit.
I mean, there's so many, right? There's so many
Yeah.
of them. So I mean, literally the whole San Diego team, they're all killers. But I think our first game it was against Ontario at Ontario, and Johnny Stinson, or I don't know, Stinson,
Justin Stinson, yeah.
Justin Stinson.
Yeah.
He definitely megged me pretty bad. I remember that game, and it stuck with me ever since. And I haven't been got that bad since that first game. So it's like every time I remember that season, it's like, well, he kind of gave me my introduction to the MASL. He's like, welcome.
Yeah.
It was nice.
He's a different player too, right? He's somebody who takes people on everywhere on the field, doesn't matter where he's at. He takes people on, always faces forward, finds the passes to get him out of trouble. Really, really clever player. Geronimo asked a good question. One memory that you'll keep from last year?
Well, for me, it would have to be my first home game against Harrisburg because I scored my very first goal
Very cool.
for Tacoma Stars there. So yeah, it was that one.
Do you remember how the goal was?
Yeah, I remember the ball landed on me at our half. Everyone was yelling at me right before I even got to the half. Shoot, 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 shoot. And, I just wanted to do my little thing, take someone on, and then shoot,
It was, the keeper was out of the net, right? It was like,
Oh, he was far. He was far.
yeah. And you like rolled it kind of away from him and then hit it with your left around the corner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Seb,
forever.
that's a good memory to score your first goal at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say my first goal too, but I think when we beat Monterey at home, my family was there, and I just remember like you weren't there, and like a lot of people maybe thought we weren't gonna win, and just like we went in there just to fight, and the fact that we won and everyone's emotion, we were just like that feeling, that feeling is something I want to strive for next year. Just keep winning, keep beating those teams that people think we can't beat. Like that's awesome.
Yeah. I think those are, I mean, I was watching it. I was in France. So I was like 3 or 4 in the morning watching you guys going, they're going to win this game. They're going to
Yeah.
win this game. They're going to win this game. And then Alex scores a right footer. And I was like, oh, if Alex is scoring with his right foot, we're for sure winning. No question. It's easy because that never happens. Okay. Now let's talk about your teammates. Okay. I'm going to put you guys on the spot and have you guys answer some questions about your teammates and see what you think. Who's the funniest guy on the team?
The funniest guy on the team, I'm gonna go with Adrian Correa.
Seb?
Funny. I don't know. There's Gilbert. Gil's quiet. He doesn't say much, but when he does say something, he's funny. He's a funny guy. So he's like the quiet, funny guy, But Adrian Correa is the loudest guy. So
Okay.
yeah.
Who's the worst dressed player on the team?
Adrian.
On game day comes in and you're like, wow, I can't believe that outfit you chose for game day. Adrian?
Oh man,
Well, I mean, on game days, yeah.
this is where it's gonna be.
You're gonna hurt someone's feelings, Nani?
It's gonna have to either be Corey or Danny for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Talk
boy.
about their outfits. Tell me why you'd put those two guys up.
I don't know. I would just never wear Nike on jeans, I just wouldn't. And then a flannel after that. I mean,
I think Adrian Correa, if he's wearing those champion slippers that he wears, I think that puts him as the worst dressed.
I remember.
But I have seen a lot of Danny Waltman flannels, and I have seen a lot of Corey Keats like Nike training pants with like a flannel on top. So I've seen that look before too. Most likely to be late for game day.
Most likely to be
Rivers.
On game day?
On game day?
Yeah, Kyle Rivers probably wins it for no matter what. For training, game day, no matter
if
what.
Someone's going to be late, it'll probably be Kyle Rivers,
I'm just going to add Rivers on there too.
Yeah, I think I shouldn't have even asked that one. Best dressed on game day. Who comes in looking like?
Ooh. All right, I'm going to have to go with.
I think it'd probably be Logan. Always has some nice shoes. He's always, your shoes aren't white, your shoes aren't this, So Logan always has a pretty nice fit. Him and probably Tyler John.
Tyler comes in looking.
Tyler John's always looking good, but Gil has some nice fits. Yeah. Mr. De La Cruz has some nice fits there.
Mr. De La Cruz, you guys are giving him like he's like your agent here. I got my sister's dog over here. Ricky, get out of there. Get out of here. Not my sister, my sister-in-law's dog. My sister-in-law's dog, and she's trying to jump over. She's gonna jump over the fence here. I'm about to lose her here. Wayne Dan says Alex Cáceres is the best fit. I mean, yeah, I would say this. I think Alex probably thinks he's the best dressed.
Yeah. I mean, Alex is the best dressed if we're going to the club, like right after we're gonna go party. Alex is the guy.
Okay, worst haircut on the team. Who's got the worst haircut? Who shows up and you're like, oh my god, this guy's hair?
I will have to say, dang, I'm sorry, Chase, but might have to be
Chase. Just no haircut. Just no haircut.
I don't think I've ever seen him get a haircut, ever.
I think whenever Chiva comes back from Mexico with a haircut, he's the face.
One side shorter than the other. One side taller.
And I'm like, you got a haircut in Mexico, didn't you, Chiva?
Oh my gosh! Worst celebration you saw last year?
Worst celebration I saw last year. I'm gonna have to go with Mr. Nick Perera in Ontario, the one where where you did the.
Yeah.
What was that?
The one where you scored, the one where Ramos hit off the wall to you, and then you just ran through like the bench. You just ran your legs up high and your arms. You were just like.
Yeah. That was bad. That was bad.
I'd probably say Nick Perera too when Gil went up for the high five.
That's the one. That's the one. If you guys didn't do that one, if you didn't say that, I was gonna pull that one. There was one in KC. It was my first goal of the year that I scored, and Gil went up, came in hot, like, yeah, bro, give me a high five. And I turned around and was like doing my like angry face. And then he had to go like this, and he gave it the smooth like comeback, like he didn't see it. That was terrible. Poor guy.
That's the one.
Eric Wood says, I remember seeing Caceres and Lima shopping at Ross for new clothes. You know what? You never know. At Ross, you might find some good stuff. You never know what's at Ross, you know?
Cheap too.
Okay, let's go to the last little bit, and then I'll let you guys go and enjoy your Friday. Okay, you guys are going to point at each other. You can point at yourself, or you can point at each other. Who you think this applies to best, okay? Which of the two of you is most likely to get a blue card?
Seb.
Me.
Between the two of you, which one is the better cook?
For sure.
I don't know. Mr. Sebas buys everything already made, you know? Nah, honestly, we'll give it to Seb. I'll give it to Seb.
Okay. Which one of you two is funnier?
Right, Nani.
You're allowed to disagree, guys. It's okay if you don't think so.
Oh, yeah, right.
Best haircut.
I don't know. I don't know. He has a beard, so if I
It
had a beard,
depends.
if I had a beard, I'd
I'd
probably
die, you know?
I switch my haircut all the time. Will you see me in season next year? It'll be pretty long.
We're gonna make a no dyed hair rule, Seb, for next year. Because last year we started the season out, everybody was like clean cut. Everybody was looking like professional. And 6 games in, Gil's got a pink head, Nani's got a blue head, Ramos is purple with a flame down the back. Everybody kind of. Evan wants to ask, which one of the two of you guys is better looking? He wants to know.
Come on, Ev. You know this one, buddy.
Oh, no, Ed, come on.
Yeah, we're gonna make a no dyed hair rule next year. We're gonna have to. It's gonna have to be voted on by the group. Listen, you're gonna have to show us a picture of your inspiration. You know, like, okay, this is what I want my hair to look like. We're gonna take it to the group, and we'll all decide whether we think that suits your style and the team style. Okay, we're gonna do it that way. Otherwise, one game in, we'll have 15 guys with 20 different colored hair. There is one team we played against last year, and I don't need to name the name because I don't want to, cause any evidence, or any issues. But there are 3 players that had the same haircut with dyed blonde hair that were hard to tell apart. It was like, oh, this is either him or him, and I gotta see it up close because they got this dyed hair, and they got like a little mohawk dyed hair with a little point in the back, and it was hard to tell who was who. Okay, best haircut, Ev. We didn't settle the better looking of the two. Most likely to be fined for being late to training.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with me though, just because I've been.
You have gotten fined for being late to training.
Yeah.
I hate
And Seb, did you ever get fined for being late to training?
No, I just got fined for being late at the hotel one time. Yeah.
Ev says Seb.
What? I hate I'm always there early.
Most likely to be at training but not be training because you're injured.
Seb. Oh, that's Seb. Fast.
Not right now. During season, you were injured the whole time.
No, Seb, I think there was a solid month that you were going, guys, my toe, there's something wrong. I can't. But do you guys need help with the balls? I mean, you were always great about helping out, but yeah, there was a toe situation.
When I was sick, when I had a cold, I couldn't get near you guys, so I was just like, all right, I'm gonna step out.
Yeah, and then you were training with a ski mask on for a couple days after, just to make sure you were covering up. I do remember that. Okay. Most likely to get in trouble at training and get yelled at. I mean, again, nobody really yells at you guys at training, but most likely to do something that makes everybody else mad.
Probably me.
I'm Seb.
Yeah.
For what? For a tackle? Slide tackle?
Probably a slid tackle, or I probably messed up a drill. You probably explained it, and I probably messed it up.
Well, that's the next one. Most likely to have a drill explained for them perfectly and then not do what they're asked to do.
Oh,
that was the next question.
I'm gonna point at myself on this one.
That was Felipe. I mean, if we could list them off, that's Felipe, Shiva, because he didn't know what I was saying. There was like 5 guys that I'd be like, listen, go to the back of the line, watch the guys in front of you do it, and then let you give it a go. Okay, most likely to score off of a free kick.
I'll go with me.
I'm gonna go with me. James Ward-Prowse right here.
Most likely, I should have said the chance of you guys standing on a free kick is pretty low, but most chance of you guys standing on a free kick. Okay, most likely to get a blue card, as in you won a blue card for your team because somebody slide tackled you.
I think I won a decent amount of blue cards last year. I got a lot of.
Flying into the boards.
Yeah. I like flying into boards. I was learning from Felipe during the off season, so
Running and hitting the boards,
yeah.
angled.
Yeah.
My blue card was just for being, I just got too mad. I got angry, which I shouldn't have.
I don't know if that's a thing. Is that a
Well,
thing, Seb? Is that a thing?
Because I got
Nani,
slapped in the face.
you got slapped in the face. You know what? Welcome to indoor soccer, buddy. If that's all you've had, that's not that bad. There's been much worse than that.
That wasn't even a
Okay.
slap.
Better goal celebration between the two of you guys.
I had one goal in my goal celebrations. It went viral. We've used it a lot, so I'll
It's
go with
true.
me.
Nani just kind of jogs off like.
Yeah. He's been there, done that. Look at him.
No, I mean Nani hit that goal you scored against Dallas, where I played it back behind Chivas' run, and you smacked it first time. You
Yep.
literally turned around and walked away like this. And I was like, "Damn, Nani, I don't know if you're gonna score many goals better than that one. You're just gonna walk off like no big deal." That was a huge goal.
The one that I got hyped on was the one in Chihuahua when I made it 1-1. I got pretty hyped there.
When you made it one, was that from Sergio?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sergio. He laid the ball off and like inside of your left foot, kind of curled it into the corner.
Yeah, that's the one where I got pretty hyped. But
You were like trying to jumping around.
Yeah, that was the only one though.
Okay. Most like or between the two of you, which one of you is better at another sport other than soccer?
Oh, that's me. Basketball all day. You can ask Adrian. You can ask all those boys.
Seb?
I think I'm pretty well versed in all the sports. I feel like he's good at basketball, but he's never.
But Nani, you're like 5'4". How are you good at basketball?
I'm a shooter. I'm Steph.
Everyone says they're a shooter until they don't shoot.
They're
You know?
really good at swimming.
Everyone who's 5'4" says they're a shooter because that's the only position they can play. Okay. Okay. Last one, guys. Last one. Okay. Between the two of you guys, most likely to start a fight with the other team.
That's. I would have to go with Seb just because he's always on it. Everyone's,
I love it.
He's the aggressive one, so I would have to say Seb.
I love the fighting. I love the contact. I love pushing. I mean, I got to cool it down because I don't want to pay the blue card fine. So I got to figure out.
You had a couple blue cards last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I paid a couple fines.
Yeah. There was actually a couple games. Yeah, there was a couple games I remember us being like, because a couple of times you would be chasing somebody else's guy and then they would pass it and you would bump and then you'd bump like face high. Remember Nani a couple of times he'd kind of bump in the face?
Yep.
And I was like, bro, you got to bump in the chest. You got to put your chest out and you got to bump. You can't slap the dude in the face. Yeah, I got it, Nick. I got it. And then he'd get all fired up and he'd look like, Mighty Mouse running around going to kick everybody. And then he'd all of a sudden start slapping people in the face again. So I would say it probably would have to be Seb. I agree with you guys there.
Yep.
I'd get him mad though.
But you know what? It is good because you do get people fired up and then they end up kicking you or kicking somebody else and we end up winning blue cards. So it is kind of like a decent thing. Yeah. But I will say that the one instruction that Seb really took from this year was the bumping, right? Like I think that you got very good at bumping. We were, especially that game in Ontario at the end of the year. I remember coming into halftime and I want to say, I think I even said, guys, if we defend like that, where you guys are bumping your runner every single time, it's hard to lose games when you're that aggressive defensively. I don't know if it was that game in Ontario, but I think it was that right towards the end of the season when we won that game and then went to San Diego the next day. Any superstitions on game days? Matt Butke wants to know.
Yeah, I have a bunch. Yeah, I don't like eating. I don't like eating 6 hours before game time. I feel like it's bad luck. I feel like I'm too heavy. I don't like it. And then I have a pair of socks that I wear, only on game days. I don't wear them to training. I don't wear them. I don't wear them anywhere else. It's strictly game socks. So that's
game socks. When it comes to the socks, I'm the exact same way. But for me, when it comes to eating, I could eat an hour before and I could still play.
Evan wants to know if Nani knows about the bump. He says, "Does Nani know the bump?"
I do know the bump. Don't you remember the? Well, actually, no, it wasn't really a bump. I wasn't a bump.
Evan, he needs you to come back so you can show him about the bump. He needs you to come back and show him the bump. You don't want it. You don't
We'll see
want
it
Evan
this
to
year.
bump
We'll see
you.
it this year in a good
You
way.
don't want you don't want to get bumped by Evan. That's a big bump. That's a powerful bump. You don't want that.
Big body.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I'll eat that bump.
All right, you guys. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for your time. Any parting words for anybody? I mean, we'll see you on August 19th, obviously, but anything else to say to everybody while we're here?
No, we're just thank you for having us, and we're ready for the season that's coming up. You know, outdoor season's about to end after this week, so back to indoor after that.
Yeah, same. Just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for having us out, and I'm excited. And everyone watching, watch out for the Tacoma Stars next year. We got a bunch of young guys that are hungry, and a bunch of older guys that are coming back with the same fire, with more fire. Mike Ramos is coming back strong. Nick Perera has been on fire, so it's like keep doubting us, because next year we're gonna be coming.
I agree. Next year we got a squad that's ready to go play, ready to go win some games. And I think that you said it earlier, Seb, we got to get that feeling, that winning. That's like all we can. That we don't accept anything less than a win. So we got to bring that into the team. And I think that you guys that all were there last year kind of got that buzz at the end of the year, of like this is how you have to play if you want to win games. I think we were vibing right in that end of the season. When we were playing Mesquite, we were playing Ontario, or Empire, we were playing San Diego, all those games where we just kind of felt like we weren't going to lose. We got to get that back. So anyway, good work, you guys. Again, we're super proud of all the work you're doing in the community, helping out and making sure that soccer is a vehicle for community engagement, bringing people together, improving people's lives, enriching their experiences. So well done. Congrats. And Stars fans, what can I say? Thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Remember, August 19th, there's a QR code right over there that you can click on to get your tickets. Come to the game. It's going to be a lot of fun to play against some of the Whistle All-Stars. And by the way, if you don't know, the Whistle All-Stars, the ones that used to be Whistle All-Stars, happen to be on the Stars now. A lot of the guys that came through our program, Willie Spur, Logan Jones, Adrian Correa, Micah Wenzel, who obviously used to play for us and is now with another club. But so many players have come through. Tyler John have come through the reserve program, have come through the Whistle program, Bellingham, all these teams, Ole Town, Ole Penn, that have produced players. So we're gonna talk a little bit about them next week, and then we're also gonna, like I said, play against some of the better players from the league and put together a little combine. I think it's gonna be a really, really good show and a great showcase for Pacific Northwestern indoor soccer. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Go Stars.